What's up, weirdos? Let's freaking go, baby. Let's freaking go. What's going on? We got a half an hour till the daily close. I got the hiccups. All is right with the world. What's happening, guys? Good to see you. Back at it. 6 p.m. live stream. Let's get it, baby. Let's freaking go. Bitcoin below support right now at $107,800. Can the bulls push us up over 108,225 before the daily close in approximately 30 minutes? Or are we screwed, blued, and tattooed to go down to 106,891 and possibly lower? We'll find out, baby. We'll find out. I'm in a good mood. I'm jack stacked and fanny packed. Let's get it, guys. Big things popping, little things. They be stopping. Let's get into the chat. We got 0 super chats to start the stream. Everybody's feeling down in the dumps. Isaac, first Pokemon of the day. What's going on, brother? Good to see you. Williams in the house. Hey, Zeus, anything on Noise? Not that I know of, my friend. Not that I know of. Isaac says, Rob, is it a TA for Zbeck right now pointless? Yes, it is pointless right now. Smoke's got to settle on the market manipulation. Quentin, I see you, buddy. H. Barbarina, as always, in the hizzy. What's happening, man? John, blessings, my friend. Super fantastic. Guys, we have 105 people watching. We have 23 likes. We can hit 100, guys. We can do it. Jake the Snake says, Chicken Bear Sissy Wuss reporting for duty. Let's get it. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe on the way in. Chris, what's up, buddy? Time to hold or wait? Our time will come, brother. Patience is a virtue. Absolutely. Not everyone has patience, though. This is a shakeout. This is shaking out a lot of people. I'm still holding strong. Hopefully, be making the right decision. Oh, we will be fine. We'll be fine. Guys, sometimes trying to help emotional people in this market is like trying to give a bath to a feral cat. You're just scratching and beating the hell out of me, though I'm trying to tell you it's what's in your best interest, right? Dave, what's up, man? Good to see you. Good to see you. Kay Lily in the house. What's happening? Randall says, just my luck. First year in crypto, and everyone is saying this one is difficult. Randall, it's going to be like that every single cycle, right? Everyone thinks that last cycle was all rainbow, sunshine, and lollipops. In fact, we had 15 corrections ranging between 15% and 44% on Bitcoin over the last 12 months of the previous cycle. Though everyone looks back on it and goes, oh, it was so great. This time's so hard. I promise you, 4 years from now, people will be talking about this cycle, saying how easy it was compared to the one that they're in because they can't see the forest through the trees, right? Recency bias is a thing. Anthony, can't be shook, baby. When the markets are in fear mode, we accumulate 100%. Jake the Snake, congrats on 15K subs. Yes, we broke through 15,000 subscribers, guys. Thank you so much to everyone here. Let's push up to 16,000. Let's make our way to 20, baby. Crypto J505, what's going on? Alex, when Moon. Oh, how says, I asked on the Patreon what it means when the stock RSI and the MACD are forming a head and shoulders pattern on Bitcoin. Who did you ask that? If you have simple questions like that, why don't you just ask Grok? If you're asking in the chat, on like in any chat, and nobody answers you, why don't you just type it into Grok? Grok will explain it to you. Just saying. Pete Ward, yo, what's up, man? Good to see you. Azarine, where have you been? Can't wait to get these dips over with. You say that now, but when everything's going parabolic, you'll be saying, I wish we had one more dip so I could have bought more. What's better than 15K subs? 16K subs. Absolutely, Jake the Snake. What do you think of KDA getting listed on Coinbase? KTA, Kita? Very, very bullish. I don't know a whole bunch about Kita personally. It is on my list of deep dive videos that I've been meaning to make. But I know that my buddy Caesar talks about Kita every once in a while, so I know he knows a lot more than I do. I have to do a deep dive on him. I have a whole list of videos that I have to do deep dives on. Kita, Plume, stuff like that, right? Bruno, shooting that cheddar. First super chat of the stream. First super chat of the stream. Wow. Wowza. We're 20 minutes in. That's crazy. Thank you, Bruno. Hey, Rob, glad I was able to catch you live again. Good to see you, brother. Good to see you. Beebs, my dude. What's happening, man? Good to see you, brother. Oh, House says, no, they did. Just asking you. I will ask Google next time. Oh, I see. I see. We're caught up in the chat. Let's get into the news. It doesn't feel like it's going to be a very long stream. Thanks for the info. No problem. Junior, loading up on World Liberty Financial. If you're not accumulating with these prices, just sell it all now. Yeah, absolutely, brother. It is full-out accumulation mode. Absolutely. Beeb supporting me on both channels. I love you, brother. I love you, man. Okay, let's get into it a little bit here. Let's get into the news. Norbert, what's happening, buddy? Good to see you, man. Good to see you. Wise Mind, what's up? I'm addicted to buying the lows so much I don't want to go up. Am I weird? That's why we're all weirdos, brother. That's why we're all weirdos. You gotta be a little bit of a weirdo to be in crypto to begin with, my friend. Bitcoin ETF momentum rebounds as gold price slips. Is a Bitcoin recovery ahead? The U.S. spot Bitcoin ETF has regained momentum as evidenced by the recent fund flow data into the investment instrument. This also indicates that the institutional interest in Bitcoin USD has caught the eye of traders. What has further ignited the optimism is that there was no outflow on October 21st. Even BlackRock's IBIT, which has continued its outflow streak for the last 5 days, has recorded an inflow in the prior session. Meanwhile, this comes as the gold price continues to slip, which has further boosted the market sentiment. A flurry of market experts believe that the recent decline in precious metals value hints at a shifting market focus towards digital assets. LLIR gifting out those memberships. You are the superstar. Thank you so much for your generosity, my friend. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Having said that, the market watchers are anticipating a strong recovery in Bitcoin's price. However, it's worth noting that analysts have highlighted key Bitcoin price levels to watch ahead, which might determine the upcoming momentum of the flagship crypto. Bitcoin's price has recorded a massive recovery recently, sparking market optimism, but it appears that the momentum was short-lived. After touching the 24-hour high of $114,000, Bitcoin retreated again to $108,000, currently $107,800, suggesting a renewed trading activity in the market. Despite that, the crypto has lost more than 3% of its weekly chart, while losing about 4% over the last 30 days. Meanwhile, the recent market trends have boosted the market sentiment. For context, the U.S. spot Bitcoin ETF flipped its fund flow trend on October 21st after witnessing robust outflows over the past few weeks. According to Farside Investors data, the investment instrument has recorded an inflow of $477.2 million on Tuesday. This inflow follows an outflow streak for the past 4 days through October 20th. Notably, BlackRock's IBIT has led the fund flow on Tuesday, witnessing an inflow of $210.9 million. ARK Invest also recorded an influx of $162.9 million. Jake the Snake, thanking for the membership. Braveheart says, mindset, consistency, patience. Let's get it. You to one, they to twos. That's right, guys. We to ones, they the twos. Listen, We are in the top 3. We're not 3 and we're not 2, baby. Let's go. Gold price has continued its slump for the second straight day, falling more than 1.4% today to $4,063. This has also lifted the market sentiment alongside Bitcoin's ETF inflow, indicating a shifting investors' focus amid the ongoing market uncertainties. The Kobayashi letter has highlighted the trend, saying that gold extends 2-day losses to minus 8%, erasing over $2.5 trillion worth of market cap. That's a lot of Skrilla for your bankroll. Analyst Michael Vandepop also lauded the dip in gold price. He noted that if Bitcoin USD breaks through 112K, it could target a new all-time high, potentially triggering a rally in altcoins. Oh, Michael Vandepop, always calling for an altcoin rally. Where's Mario GC? I need Rise Above. What's up, man? Good to see you. Good to see you. John Doe, yes, you are weird. Besides, he believes that gold price has already peaked for the moment. I agree, guys. When we saw retail investors lined up outside of precious metal stores and coin stores globally, that was a top indicator. And I told you guys that on that day, right? So that would have been the perfect time, not financial advice, to short gold. As the institutions regain their confidence, as evidenced by the recent Bitcoin ETF inflow data, analysts have shared key insights on the flagship crypto. In a recent X post, analyst Ted said that 107 to 108K support marks a vital region for Bitcoin price. According to him, if the support sustains, Bitcoin USD could witness a robust recovery, potentially targeting new all-time highs. On the flip side, failure to hold support could trigger another sell-off in the Bitcoin market. He believes that such a scenario could ignite a Bitcoin crash to $100,000. In addition, he noted that $12 billion in shorts would be liquidated if Bitcoin pumps 10%. On the flip side, $6.98 billion in longs are expected to get liquidated in a bearish scenario of a 10% dump. So, very, very fascinating, guys. Are we going to close above 100 and we need to close above 107,000 to 108,225 for bullishness to stay in the market. Venom, Wen Lambo, what's up, man? JJ in the house, dropping that super sticker. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you. All right, let's flip over to Squawk Box. What's happening over there today? World Bank President David Malpass, markets all over need more dynamism.
Now to talk about the state of the global economy, former World Bank President David Malpass, he is now with Purdue University's Mitch Daniels School of Business. It's good to see you.
Good to see you, Joe.
Do you ever get interviewed by Besant because your name was bandied about at one point, right?
Right, I wasn't interviewed for the job. I do think, and I've made the point in Wall Street Journal articles and so on, that the Fed needs to really look at reform. So I was super happy to see Secretary Besant in both in the Journal and in his International Economy article talking about the reforms. You know, for over 10 years, I've been talking about the problem of QE, that it's not stimulative and it causes this wealth inequality. So you're borrowing on the short end and dumping it into government bonds. How is that going to work out? So he really nailed that in what he was doing in August.
Yeah. Okay, but so you don't know if did you hear wind of your name being bandied? I mean, you heard wind of it, obviously, but you know if there was where there's smoke, there's fire. Would you do it?
So of course I'd do it. You know, the country really needs leadership across the board, and the Fed, I think, really is, and I've said this, part of the deep state. The staff is huge, way too big. They control a lot of markets. I've written a lot over the years about the loss, the cost of losing the interbank market and the Fed funds market. You know, there kind of is a residual Fed funds market, but it's all the Federal Home Loan Bank Board arbitraging the interest rate. It's of no use to growth of the country. So there's so much more that the Fed could be doing to allow markets to function. And that's now this issue on stablecoins. You know, the Fed's really been skeptical of allowing anybody else to be involved in short-term markets, and stablecoin comes in, says we can do it a lot better than what's been doing, and the Fed's really been dragging its feet. So I'm happy to see some talk of this. Chris Waller was out yesterday talking about a skinny master account. I think that's a direction, and the Fed needs to be open to a lot of change.
You could have some really nice digs.
Did get to $3 billion worth of
really unbelievable food, I understand, too.
I've had really nice digs.
You already got some nice digs. That's not going to do it for you. So you point out you're always trying to urge or influence policy in certain ways. I was struck. You'd like tax cuts in Japan and as well as here. Why?
The world needs more growth. That would be really good for the U.S.
And Japan. And you might get it from this new...
It would be fabulous for the U.S. to have more growth in Japan. So they've got a new government. But what they're looking at, and this is what I worry about across really the world, is institutionalism is deeply embedded. So the central banks don't want to change. The fiscal authorities think that high taxes are in some way going to make their country better. And Japan has a 45% marginal tax rate on personal income. They have a VAT tax. And so if you were living and working in Japan, you'd be disappointed in the outlook, which is what they're showing. But I'll go broader than that. I mean, I think there are opportunities around the world for governments to break out of the mold.
Yeah, and then you sound like it's a kind of a supply sider, and I'm not disagreeing with you.
Well,
certainly,
let's
smaller government, ending spending on climate, more energy, more fossil fuels, ending any renewable.
What history shows us on development is the more energy you use, the higher your per capita income. Somehow that got off track, way off track over the last 10 years. So the U.S. is leading in the world, and President Trump is leading on saying we're going to have more energy here. That's necessary for the confrontation with China. I want to come back to taxes. The capital gains taxes in the U.S. are too high. The unrealized gains locked up in the U.S., where people are just waiting for basis step up at death. It's way too much money, and it reduces the dynamism of markets. So my main theme is just that markets all over need more dynamism, and that's why I mentioned the
totally against
market.
That's totally against the pressure, right? To make more, to raise capital gains taxes, right?
Seems like that's the case, right?
Yeah, that's...
Well, let's take a thought experiment. Let's say you lowered the capital gains rate down to 10% right now for 1 year or 2 years. The government would make a giant windfall. They could use that to really build things or to reduce the deficit. That would be wonderful. And what have you lost? The people are going to hold it until death and get zero.
Unless you change that.
So you have to change the state taxes. Don't you think you have? You don't agree with me? I think you have to change the estate tax.
Yeah, but Britain is trying that right now. So that, they say, let's tax the rich people. So what happens? The rich people leave. Washington State is doing that. And it's been a disaster for the state of Washington.
Yes.
Because people figure out exactly when they have to leave before getting caught.
Over the estate.
It's a wealth tax. They have this.
See, I have a video coming out later tonight talking about this, guys. What he's saying is that when they talk about increasing capital gains tax, right? What happened, and I'm going to have the numbers for you in the video later tonight. What happened in the 2021 bull run? So many young people became millionaires and multimillionaires from crypto, from that bull run. And you know what they did? They left. They left Canada, they left the United States, they left Western culture and civilization to go to crypto tax, capital gains tax friendly countries. So what happens is these other countries, poorer countries than the United States, they say, hey, come here, no capital gains tax. They don't care about making money from your capital gains tax. They care about all of these multimillionaires bringing their money into their economies, which is hurting the United States' economy. So if you continue to increase capital gains tax and stuff like that on investors who are making this money, they're just going to leave. They're going to move to, these crypto, Dubai and all of these crypto capital gains tax friendly places, El Salvador, and they're just going to be multimillionaires there, and their money's going to leave the United States economy and it's going to go into these other countries' economies, which enriches their economies over time, right? It's brilliant strategy from these other countries.
Wealth tax.
Right,
that's a huge deal. That's pushed people out. But leaving a state is different than leaving a country. United States. And Britain may be doing this, but I would argue that
I'm just saying, if you try to tax people's wealth, it will all of a sudden be somewhere else. It won't be where you can get your hands on it. So you're saying, oh, people are stuck in the U.S.
No, I'm not saying they're stuck in the U.S. I'm just suggesting most people are stuck in the. Actually, I am saying that. Most people are stuck in the U.S. and they want to be here.
Most people want to live in the U.S.
I don't know if I'm.
If you're a multimillionaire, you can live anywhere in the world and come back to the States whenever you want. You don't have to live there.
Going too far, but when the reconciliation bill passed, the stock market started going up. Why? Because it made the estate tax permanent, and so people could look at it, plan their future, and figure out how to reinvest. And so equities, the minute that you say that there's a lower tax rate, equities go up because they're reflecting growth, and that's an opportunity for the U.S.
If it was really a holiday of 1 or 2 years, though, don't you think it would be extended? And if that's the case, it kind of defeats the purpose of.
No, it doesn't defeat. So let's say you get the windfall in the first 2 years, and then people say this feels so good, we're gonna make it longer and longer, make it permanent. That's what's happening on the expensing right now of equipment. Yeah. So it was originally temporary, and so people met the window, and then they say, wait a minute, now this is really working really well. We're getting growth and jobs out of it. So we need to do lots more of that. I think, and this is what people in markets are talking about all the time. The national debt is just too big, so people won't keep buying dollars. But I don't think that's right. I was happy to see gold down again this morning. It had gotten overdone in its surge and its bubble, and having it come down is more people saying, I want to be in the U.S. at these interest rates. They're just too high. We've got the short-term interest rates at 4.15% from the Fed. Why set them that high? I would like to see a 50 basis point cut in the next meeting, because they should have started cutting in June. They've been delaying the cuts, and so they're not getting ahead of the curve on the cuts. And the bond yields are below.
He's right, guys. They would have started cutting rates sooner, like June, if the jobs numbers were not as inaccurate as they were. They would have started cutting rates sooner. So it is feasible that I don't think you'll see a 50 basis point cut, but it's feasible that we should get a 50 basis point cut this month or next month.
0.04. So why would you have a short-term rate above a long-term rate at this point in the cycle? It doesn't make any sense. Yeah. So the Fed's behind the curve. They could catch up and save the government a lot of money, because the government's the big borrower of treasuries.
Right. They don't care about saving the government money, though. So that's your problem, right? That's where you run into it. What else do we have? Binance releases updated statement regarding claims about the October 10th crash. The 29th, Taylor. 29th is the FOMC meeting. In 7 days, a week. Beebs, that's it, honey. Let's pack up your belongings. We're moving to Bahamas. No capital gains tax. Let's go. Cryptocurrency exchange Binance has released an official statement regarding the market maker disclosure, allegations that have been trending in the community in recent days. The company stated that as a result of the investigation, the allegations in question were made by an independent third-party trader and that this person is not an official market maker. According to the statement, the trader's investments firm also confirmed that the individual was not authorized to speak on their behalf. The firm terminated its relationship with the relevant external trading team as of October 13th, 2025, and withdrew its compensation claim against Binance. The trader was also asked to delete his social media posts and refrain from making statements on behalf of the firm. Binance argued in its technical explanation regarding the incident that reduced only orders did not trigger the protection mechanism in the system, but these orders still passed position and price verification. The incident came to the forefront during the crypto market flash crash on October 11th, when a trader claimed that reduced only orders on the Binance platform were returning a 503 error code for 106 minutes, preventing them from closing their positions. The post sparked widespread social media buzz, but the trader in question deleted the posts on October 22nd, which was today, admitting there was no errors after reviewing the logs with Binance and the investment firm. Yes, I agree, Joe. Audit Binance. Binance stated that in the statement that that false and misleading claims have damaged the company's reputation. Yeah, your reputation was in the pooper long before this, bro. Right? This wasn't like, oh, not Binance. There's no way Binance would do anything like this. Oh, bro, your reputation was destroyed way before this, man. My goodness. Bitcoin tests the 200-day moving average support. Bitcoin hovers near the critical technical area, the daily 200-day moving average, and the EMA trend, drawing significant attention from traders and institutional investors as it tests this pivotal support range. This critical juncture is important as Binance's Bitcoin's ability to hold this support may indicate the continuation of its bullish trend, impacting broader market sentiment and institutional strategies. Bitcoin is currently near its crucial daily 200-day moving average, attracting traders and investors' attention. It is fluctuating slightly above the 200-day EMA, indicating a sustained long-term bullish trend, but with increased volatility risks looming. Notable voices in the crypto space, including Dawn Crypto Trades, observed Bitcoin's struggle around the 200-day moving average. Institutional interest is evident, with nearly $6 billion flowing into Bitcoin ETFs, showcasing confidence in cryptocurrency. Price movements significantly affect traders and investors, with volatility anticipated should Bitcoin break below the moving average. Institutional accumulation near 110,000 continues to strengthen the bullish outlook despite current price pressures. The decision by institutional entities to inject capital via ETF highlights the potential implications on Bitcoin's market dynamics. Macroeconomic factors such as the weakening USD and anticipated rate cut by the Federal Reserve further support the cryptocurrency's appeal as digital gold. Should Bitcoin maintain this crucial support zone, it may uphold its positive market perception. However, continued volatility could result in short-term price fluctuations, posing challenges for market participants. Are you ready to be challenged by Bitcoin? All right, guys, let's go back over to the Bitcoin chart, see what it's doing. What do you say? What do you know? Benjamin, happy evening, my friend. Just jumped on actual futures trade in BTCC. No more demo practice. There you go, my dude, my guy, my brother from another mother. Let's get it. Let's get those gains. Taylor, yes, absolutely. So there it is, guys. Bitcoin sitting at 107,590. Can we close tomorrow above, today, sorry, in 1 minute? Looks like we're not going to be closing above 108,226, which means we could see another dip down below 106,891. We will be here for every little bit of it, guys. I got a live stream to do over on the Patreon tonight. Hopefully I can get to it. I will keep you guys updated on it. Things are running a little tight for me tonight. That's what she said. Jake the Snake says, yes, I am mentally challenged. You certainly are, brother. You certainly are. All right, guys. That's it for me. Make sure you join us over in our trading group over on the Patreon. It is less than the price of a cup of coffee to join a winning team, guys. Learn how to trade. Learn how to succeed. All of our training courses are free to our Patreon members. You can book one-on-one coaching calls and everything in between. Get our microcap gems and so much more. The link is down below. It's in the pinned comments. It's in the description. It's in the QR code at the top left-hand, right-hand corner of your screen. Click like if you like this video. Click subscribe if you really liked it. I'll see you guys in the next one. God bless.